Welcome to the first installment of the PineScript Lab series. In this series, we'll explore trading ideas and concepts, running experiments with PineScript on TradingView, and we'll learn more advanced programming techniques along the way. Today, we'll cover some pattern detection, identifying ascending triangles, where ascending triangles are defined by an horizontal upper trend line and a rising lower trend line. It is a chart pattern used in technical analysis to predict the continuation of an uptrend. Let's now move over to TradingView and dive in. To detect ascending triangles, we'll use higher time frame data. So we'll start from the code we developed to work with higher time frame. If you haven't watched the video on this, I invite you to check it out so that you acquire more context. We cleaned up the code a little, though, adding a type to hold the higher time frame data we'll need. So the left index and right index in the chart's time frame, the open, the high, the low, and the close. And then we can retrieve the higher time frame data in one go, like so. So let's add it to the chart and check that it's still behaving the same as before. So we do have our higher time frame data here, 5 minutes. That is indeed being followed on the chart. If we were changing to 10 minutes, we can see that the higher time frame data is aligning to the chart's time frame. Awesome, looks good. The idea is to look at every higher time frame bar and use it as reference. Then assess if there is a minimum number of valid consecutive bars that are following the pattern. Lows that are constantly rising and all closing below the reference high. Let's now try to get it done with PineScript. We'll first define our triangle, creating a type for it that holds the left, right, top, and bottom coordinates. And then we add the logic to visualize it on the chart. So if not null, we draw an horizontal line from left to right at the top, and then we draw a rising line from left to right and from bottom to top. That's it. Let's save. No errors. Good. Let's also remove the code we no longer need that was drawing higher time frame boxes, like so. Here. And save again. Let's add one more input, the minimum number of valid bars, like so. Since we'll have to assess the validity of the bars in regards to the pattern, we now need an array that holds all the bars to be assessed. So, an array, HTF bars, declared as array.new of type HTF, higher time frame. And now we manage it. As we identify a new higher time frame bar, we add it to the beginning of the array, so that our array will go from the newest to the oldest bar. For this, we use the built-in unshift array method, like so. Then we remove the oldest bar when our array is bigger than the minimum number of valid bars. For this, we use the built-in pop array method. So if array size more than mean valid bars, we pop the last element. It is a very important step, as we would quickly reach memory limit if we just kept adding more and more bars. Let's save again. No errors. All right. Now we're ready to add the logic to validate an ascending triangle. First, we set our reference bar, so ref bar, and that would be equal to the last element of our array. So array dot last HDL bars, like so. Then we assign our ascending triangle with an empty triangle object. So triangle new. Then we iterate with index through our array, omitting the last element since it is our reference bar. So for I equals 0 to mean value bars -1, if any of the bars do not meet our criteria, in that case, we would reset the ascending triangle to null and exit the iteration. Our first criteria is to have constant rising lows. So our current bar low must be more than the previous bar low. So we use indexed I+1. And our second criteria is close for green bars or open for red bars to be less than our reference high. So we can code it that way. That's the max of close or open to be less than high of the ref bar. Let's break the line so that it's more readable. We can do it like so, adding just one character here. We can do the same here, here, and here. Lastly, if the conditions are met, aka the ascending triangle is not null, we set its coordinates. So the top will be the reference bar high, the bottom will be the reference bar low, its left coordinate will be the reference bar right index, and its right coordinate would be the current bar right index plus an adjustment of one time frame to the right, since we assume that the ascending triangle is forming. And that should be it. Let's save and test. To test it out, we're going to use a little trick, turning our indicator into a strategy, and then we will take trades that will exit immediately, like so. Now we can use the strategy tester to zoom on the trades, hence jumping from one detection to the other. Let's look at some ascending triangles. So let's look at the first one. The rising lower trend line looks pretty good. However, our horizontal upper trend line seems to be too high, and maybe this pattern will not qualify as an ascending triangle. Let's look at the next one. This one looks really good. Upper trend line, horizontal, and we have several touches. And lower trend line, again, looks very good. Let's look at the next one. Here again, our lower trend line raising doesn't look bad. However, again, our horizontal trend line is too high in that case, but we will still qualify as an ascending triangle. So there is room to make it better. Let's try to add some condition on our high values. We'll first add some inputs for our condition on highs. A high enabled input as a Boolean value, aka true or false, that will turn our functionality on or off, and a high factor value between 0 and 1. Then we'll add the condition in our iteration to validate ascending triangles here. So the bar high must be more than the maximum of the reference bar close or open, plus a factor that will be the high factor multiplied by the distance between the reference bar high and the max of the reference bar close and open. And that should be it. Let's save and check again. It comes as no surprise that there is less detections, 41 down to 22. But let's check the triangles that are detected. The first one looks good. The second one looks pretty good overall. The third one looks okay. But if we were giving it a bit more of a high factor, 0.25, it will no longer be detected. So let's go back. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. However, it looks like we could adjust the triangle in order to account for the discrepancy here. So let's work on that and finish with it. We first add an input to turn our adjustment on or off. So an adjust triangle variable as input bool, aka true or false, and then we'll retrieve and use the highest, lowest values of our valid bars to adjust our triangle. So to retrieve, we can do it this way, setting a lookback value that is basically between the last and first valid bar. And then we just retrieve the highest value for that loopback, the lowest value for that loopback, and the index of the lowest value. Then, to use it, we add the following. If adjust triangle, we adjust the bottom to the lowest, we adjust the left to the bar index of the lowest index plus 1, and then if the highest is less than the top, we adjust the top to the highest. So let's save and test it out. Let's look at our detected triangles again. First one looks good. Second one looks good too. Third one looks really good. Fourth one looks good too. Looks great overall. We did it. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed learning how to detect ascending triangles using higher time frame data with PineScript. In this series, we'll continue turning trading ideas and concepts into code and potentially viable strategies. Remember, trading is a journey, and mastering PineScript is just one step along the way. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, please feel free to leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.